preeminent Christ. Third part, how we can make Jesus the preeminent in life. Chapter 12 of Romans, verses 1 and 2. Let me just give you the whole Romans in just 4 words. First thing is the doctrine. 1 to chapter 11, verse 32. Doctrine is the fundamental teachings of Christ. Chapter 1, 2, and 3, it's talking about what is our condition. Chapter 3, verse 23 says, we are all sinners come short of the glory of God. But Christ gave his life, his redemption, his reconciliation, his sacrifice for us on the cross. And chapter 11, verse 3 to verse 36 is praising God, which is called doxology. At the end, giving glory to God. All the depths of his riches, all the depths of his wisdom, all the depths of his knowledge. How unsearchable are the judgments, and how unscrutable, incomprehensible are his ways. Then chapter 12 on, verses 1 and 2, he talks about dedication. Before even you begin your life with God, there has to be a dedication. This is the hinge actually between chapter 11, 1 to 11 and 12 to 16. This is a hinge which connects it, and if you take off the hinge, it will not stay. If you don't have dedication, if I'm not surrendered to the Lord, all my sacrifices is in vain. The fourth part is 12:3 to the chapter 16, verse 27, is the duty. Sometimes we jump into duty, doing things to be pleasing ourselves, pleasing others. But don't serve without surrender, because it is not counted. It is like hay, wood, and straw. When it goes through fire, it will be burnt. The more you read and understand doctrine, chapters 1 to 11, you will definitely come to this point of surrendering yourself to God. Before every service, every duty, there has to be a deep surrender to the Lord. Doctrines, doxology, dedication, and duty. This is the order in which Paul is now teaching us. You cannot separate principles and practice. That is hypocrisy. That's why it is not acceptable to God. Life from the point of cross. That's where you will be totally dedicated. Because the goal of all the truth, of all practices, is just one purpose. That is holiness. Because through holiness, his name is glorified. So the more you are doing a dedicated service to God, the more you're separate. You will dislike and hate everything of the world. You will hold everything loosely in your hand. And you will hold firmly Jesus Christ. And him alone will be your only passion. You'll make him preeminent. This is not happening. There is something wrong somewhere. Examine your life. So Paul is an apostle. How is he saying this? Verse 1. I urge you. He's saying I beg to you. He's an apostle. He's not using that spiritual authority. Why? This has to come from your heart, not forced upon you. Because it's a choice you have to make. Before you want to do something for the Lord, you have to deal with your body first. Because this body has certain appetites. And if you don't keep that in control, this appetite will really mess up everything. What are some basic appetites? There is food appetite, there is water appetite, and there is rest appetite, and there is sexual appetite. One more thing which I added, clothes. These are natural. But if this is going out of limit and not worked in without the framework which God has ordained, your body is going out of control. If these are not in control, it's all like wood, hay, straw. It will go through fire. It's of no use. The challenge with many believers is when they deal with their body. Their body goes beyond. In the Old Testament, how was the sacrifices brought? It was a dead sacrifice. The dead animal was put in the altar and then it was burnt. You know the word used there, living sacrifice. It is a burnt offering. It means put yourself on the altar to be completely be burnt. See this image. In the Old Testament, the very first thing as you enter the tabernacle is an altar. I'm not going to Sunday worship. I have needs. I have situations. I have issues in life. But I'm going there to meet God, to worship God. Saying, I'm completely surrendered to God's purposes. There was a rich young ruler that followed Jesus Christ. The Lord said, sell off all your things. Then come and follow. He could not be a burnt offering to the Lord. Why? Because he had reservations. If that is a condition, it is not acceptable to God. God's call is for a whole person, a spirit, soul, and body. Presenting oneself completely to God. This is what Paul is saying. Divide the sacrifices into two categories. One, a reconciliation sacrifice. Jesus has already done that. You don't have to do it now. Second one is consecration sacrifices. I have to build my consecration. That's my part. I have to do it every day. Exodus chapter 29 verse 20. The blood has to be taken and put in 3 parts of the body of Aaron and his son. Right ear, ready to listen to the voice of God. Right thumb, ready to do the work of God. Right toe, ready to walk in the ways of God. Your whole body must be surrendered to God. Galatians chapter 2:20, Paul is saying, I have been crucified with Christ. It's no more I who live, but the life that I live now, I live by faith in Jesus Christ. There was one man, Nicholas Zinzendorf, Austrian, about Moravian movement, which took the gospel to the ends of the earth. It all started with this one man who was caught by a painting of Jesus Christ on the cross. This amazing sacrifice of Jesus Christ. He surrendered his life to the Lord. They started about 350 years before. To reach every country, every town. It started with somebody who made Jesus the most preeminent one. Friends, this is what is the living sacrifice.